salute, man.
Yeah, they had us the first half, I'm not going to lie.
Oh, could be Wayne.
I think I got my swagger back. Oh.
I love it, baby.
Them orange britches. Something about them orange britches.
Tennessee wins! By Tennessee, Jawan Jennings. Jennings makes the catch.
Ball hit high in the air into right field. Going back is Sayre, and Tennessee can say hello, win column. A grand slam in the bottom of the ninth. You can't draw it up any better.
We just won a basketball game, and we're very happy right now. McGrath for the win. He got it. If you don't like college football and you watch this one, I'm not sure what your problem is.
Reddit to do and welcome into More Important Issues. It is Sunday, May 19th. SEC baseball will be played in Hoover, Alabama. And folks, your Kentucky Wildcat. No. It's your Tennessee Volunteers. I'm getting word there. Kentucky's a 3 seed. What is that right?
That's what I've heard.
Tennessee Volunteers are your number 1 seed in the SEC tournament. You're SEC champions, the one and only, fighting Tony Vitello's. Let's give it up for him, baby. Love it. We talked about with Hunter Inslee, man. What a big kind of first step of starting to kind of put a bow on that season. It's a good way to start rounding things out. And I would like to make my position just very, very clear on this, Landon. I think co-champions is very dumb. We played Kentucky. We beat Kentucky. Tennessee Volunteers are the SEC champions. And I would also like to go back. I want everybody to go back to 2018. Tennessee basketball co-champions with Auburn. Tennessee lost to Auburn in the regular season. I think that was a rightful championship as well. So I just want to make it clear where I stand.
Yeah.
Just so we are all on the same page.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, if you take 2 out of 3 on the road against a team that you tied with, you're the champion.
But you also agree with me that Tennessee was the rightful champions in 18 as well.
Oh, 100%.
They lost to Auburn. Okay.
100%,
All right. Just making sure we're all together in this one.
That one was very fair.
Okay.
They didn't lose 2 games to Auburn, just one.
Yeah, exactly.
If we were given a chance to tie it, we would have.
Great point. It's all. I kind of want to talk about that if we tangent that way, which I imagine we will. I don't. Anyways, we are going to talk baseball, talk about championships, and not the ones that don't matter. I mean, we like this one. You get to call yourself a champion. We're going to do it, but
yeah, sure. With the shirts, I've already printed the shirt. Well, pre-ordered the shirts.
Did you pre-order one?
I was going to. I'm kind of bougie when it comes to t-shirts. I like comfort color t-shirts.
Yeah.
I don't like those shirts that like you accidentally dry it one time and it's gone forever. So I really like the orange one, and I would probably buy it if it was comfort color, but the black one is comfort color. And man, I got 2 dogs that get all over my black shirt. So I don't love black t-shirts, unfortunately. So I didn't buy one yet. Also, that's not the only one we're printing. So
yeah, but I'm addicted to championship shirts. You don't even have to win a championship. If you put champion on it, probably buy it.
Well, this is let's knock on wood this doesn't happen, but a couple weeks later,
we've got 3 more to purchase. Well, 2 more to purchase.
Right. But I'm saying, like, you wait 3 more weeks, you have more shirts to purchase. This one shirt, they're going to sell it for like $15 in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I'm also addicted to deals, so that's good.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun to win though. So we'll recap that. This weekend, kind of how it happened, was a little bit of mayhem, which is it's exciting. If you're an EPL fan, if you're an Arsenal fan, similar excitement there as it came to an end today. We all my homies hate VAR though. all my homies hate reviewing sports. So just wanted to get that out there. Dude, I might go get it to show you because you're not a soccer fan, so you might not like fully appreciate it. So in the 03-04 season, Arsenal won the Premier League and didn't lose a game. They're nicknamed the Invincibles. My brother got me a Thierry Henry shirt. You know who Thierry Henry is?
No, I don't.
French national player who played for Arsenal Invincibles, played forward, scored a lot of goals, great player. Okay. If you watch Ted Lasso, you remember Coach Beard saying, "Screw you, Thierry Henry." That's him.
Okay.
That is awesome. It was the O2 Arena sponsor on the front of the shirt. It's a great shirt. I had an Invincible shirt that my brother got me. Hadn't taken the tags off yet. Hadn't put it on yet. And I was going to do it today if they won. I think now I'm just going to wait till they win the Premier League to ever put it on.
Okay.
It's awesome. But, so thought I was going to win another championship today. But alas, I can't have too much happiness in my life. It would be unfair to everybody else.
If we're just celebrating things, pool officially open today.
Okay, yeah, that's a big one. So are we not going to tell Raven I got in last night?
No.
Okay.
That was a soft open. Now it's officially open.
Yeah, friends and family only last night. We'll also talk a little EA Sports as we EA Sports. It's in this episode. Make sure you guys. Thank you. If you guys got any questions, drop them in the chat. Let's talk about whatever you want to talk about on this beautiful, gorgeous Sunday. I wish I was on the golf course. I mean, probably would have ruined it because I would have played terrible. But
yeah, that's the thing. It's a great day for golf. It's also a great day to like not hate yourself either. So,
absolutely. Before we do fully dive into the show, like we will be doing Landon's pool next weekend, I'm going to tell you guys about Grade A Grounds. Grade A Grounds is a local coffee roasting company in Kingsport, Tennessee. Owned and operated by two educators, both in the Johnson City area. They want to give back to their community, support the students and the teachers in that community. They do that by giving back 5% of all their sales to a nonprofit organization called Coalition for Kids. Every sale goes directly towards keeping those classrooms stocked with the necessary supplies needed for students and teachers. Grade A Grounds is great. I can't say enough about them, and it has been a lifesaver this weekend. For some reason, I decided just to torture myself and not let myself sleep this weekend and do things that I wasn't required to do, but I did them. Because I'm an idiot, like staying over at Landon's until 1 a.m. last night. Just like, hey, do you want to suffer? And I'm like, yeah. And then Grade A Grounds is like, you don't have to suffer, and really got me through my day. So shout out to Grade A Grounds. Make sure you guys go purchase great coffee. Also give back to Coalition for Kids. Those classrooms need you. Those teachers need you. And you need coffee. So it's just win, 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 win. Go check them out right now at Grade A Grounds. You can follow them on Twitter. We'll drop a link here, Facebook, Instagram. Follow the links in their bios to purchase. Use promo code GOVOLS. Shout out to Grade A Grounds.
Shout out. Appreciate them. Hey. Tennessee Athletic Department.
DW, man. What about them?
I mean, as much as like I do complain sometimes about the whole like tickets going up and this and that, but in reality,
it's the nature of the business, man.
Yeah, I would much rather be winning and paying $5 to get into a Tennessee baseball game than losing and doing that. So I'm perfectly happy with the way things are. I will complain in the future. I'm just going to go ahead and say that. But I am very satisfied with everything Danny White has done. And it's just fun right now. I mean, I think us personally and just Tennessee fans in general just deserve this.
Yeah.
We've gone through what we started this podcast doing in 2016.
So we started in 2016. We did cover that 2017 baseball season as well. So for everyone that has hopped on the bandwagon, which it's one of those things that's annoying, but also it's nice because if you have bandwagon fans, if you have bandwagon whatever, it means you're winning. No one's hopping on a train that's headed off the tracks. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So it's also, it just kind of comes with it's another cost of doing business. And the problem with Tennessee is that I'm a sucker, and Danny White can say, bring us your firstborn to get season tickets, and sorry, happening. It's just I'm a sucker, but also, you know how they say all these brands, like the Louis Vuitton brands and the ones that smack their logos all over everything. Like, those brands aren't nice. They just market themselves well, and people want to show that they have money. But Tennessee is that, but they're also because of what's happened in the last few years, they're becoming brands that are actually valuable. And so they're getting both markets, and it sucks for the people that spent money when Louis Vuitton was in Walmart and still kept buying it. And now you gotta travel to some obscure place to purchase it. And it sucks, but it also is, it's just one of those things. So it means you're winning if you're having to pay more, usually. And I'd rather win.
Yeah,
I'll say
100%.
that. I'd rather win than pay cheap tickets to watch whatever the hell I'll watch between 2017 and 2021.
Yeah.
2020.
Yeah, we've earned this. I do just kind of want to read through real quick about some teams in the athletic department that continue to win. Volleyball made the Sweet 16. Football had 9 wins, including a Citrus Bowl. Also, this season coming up, a lot of expectations, college football playoff aspirations. Basketball was regular season champs, made it to the Elite Eight. Softball regular season champs, they booked their ticket to the Super Regionals, will face number 14 seeded Alabama in the Supers. Baseball regular season champs will host regional, potentially Super Regional if they make it that far, and then Omaha is definitely on the table. Women's tennis made the Final Four. I think that ended today. And then men's tennis made the Elite Eight. Men's golf was a number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament, which I think that happens this week, I think. So when the NCAA tournament is supposed to start. Cross country, both NCAA regional champions. Women's finished 6th nationally. Men's finished 26th nationally. Swimming, women's finished 5th or 4th in the nation, and the men's finished 6th. So everything on campus just.
And what did you mention track and field? I know they haven't concluded much. I think you have people that are scoring well enough that you're going to see some national championships, or
Sure.
You're going to have people that are in place at nationals.
Yeah. I don't have that yet because it
happen.
hasn't concluded.
I figured. I didn't think SEC meets have happened yet either. But yeah, so that's another thing to just kind of add on there here soon.
Yeah, just like, I mean, COVID was spreading like wildfire. It seems like winning is spreading like wildfire at Tennessee right now. So
Danny White built this program in a Wuhan lab.
Yeah.
I think it's a credit to Danny White and his staff that what they're building this isn't just something Danny White came in and was like, all right, we're in need of a huge overhaul, fire everyone, start from scratch. He's doing it with guys that he didn't hire, ladies he didn't hire, and got everybody kind of in the same boat, rowing the same direction, and similar to the rowing team that just dominated that Big Ten meet a few weeks ago. Went in by just boat lengths. And so I think a lot of people there'll be people that point to that and say, well, it's not all his people. It's not all the people he hired. I think that is an important piece. It's not like a dictatorship where he's like, I'm only getting people in here that I like and that like me. And he came in, inherited something, and rather than saying throw it all out, it's all on fire. He addressed what needed to be addressed and got who was here that was doing the right thing in their programs and got them on board with his visions and aspirations and met their needs. And I mean, look at the baseball program that was already doing great stuff and needed some help and kind of taking some next steps, especially like with stadium renovations, for example. He's made Tony Vitello a very wealthy man, and I imagine here in the next few months you're going to hear about another contract extension that makes him even more wealthy.
Yeah.
So doing things like that I think is points to a great leader. So I really like what Danny White has done, both from a standpoint of who he's brought in when he's had to make changes, but also the people he's been able to work with that weren't quote unquote his guys.
Yeah.
So some people point that as a negative. I think that shows that I think it's the opposite.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a culture thing. Like, I mean, he was hired here because he was one of the best in the business. Did a great job at UCF. And, I think everybody was kind of like, oh, he's done like really well there. Also, like, this is a lot different than UCF. Much like the Josh Heupel hire. It was the same thing. It was, okay, he scored a lot of points and won a lot of games, but like, does that translate? And it seems like with the resources that Tennessee has, and I guess just the foundation was there because you had Rick Barnes, you had Tony Vitello, you had guys like that can absolutely win, and were winning before Danny White got on campus. But it was how do we maximize that winning? And I think Danny White's done a really good job of putting all that together and then getting other sports on the right track. Women's basketball wasn't on the right track, and that's why you made a move. And Danny White's not like other ADs that have been here and be like, okay, who has a tie to Tennessee that we can get here? He's like, I'm just going to go out and get a winner.
Yeah.
And so I've liked that about him where he just doesn't – I don't think ADs are looking for an influence from somebody or fans or whatever, but it seems like in the past you can kind of pinpoint who the ADs were going to reach out to. And, with Danny White, it's who's a winner. It doesn't have to be a Tennessee tie. I think before it was you were trying to look for that Tennessee tie in a potential coach, and John Curry didn't have it with – Rick Barnes didn't have a Tennessee tie. Tony Vitello didn't have a Tennessee tie, and it's worked out great. So,
yep. Well, I thought didn't Rick Barnes have a Tennessee tie? It was like a weird, obscure one.
Oh, maybe he did.
I thought maybe like his wife had a Tennessee tie. I can't remember. I may be wrong.
Yeah, I don't know.
It would have been real obscure if he did. Yeah, no, I think he's done an exceptional job, and it's led to here. And I know we're obviously highlighting all the positives that have happened on campus this year, mainly talking baseball. So we'll kind of head into that. Tennessee. I don't think it's that no one. I didn't necessarily expect Tennessee to be in this position come today. Not that I thought Tennessee would lose that series. Not that I didn't think Tennessee had the potential to sweep that series. They haven't just sweat. This isn't as good as this team is. It isn't the 2022 team that just.
Destroyed everybody.
They might as well have been custodians the way they swept the SEC.
Yeah.
The 2023 team that maybe started slow but really kind of exploded onto the scene late in the season and just beat everybody. This is a team that's they've been really sound all year. They had that really they had a rough start to the first SEC series, but kind of since then it's kind of been. We're taking care of business, and it's not. They've had the pleasure of not struggling much. Sure, they've lost games here and there, but they're winning series. So the adversity they've met hasn't been much, and so I thought they'd be in a position, but it also relied on Vanderbilt beating Kentucky as well. That. You weren't sure if they'd grab one. And also credit to Vanderbilt for saying, I'd rather try to get to the postseason than drop this one and not see Tennessee win a regular season title, because I'm going to be honest, if I'm Tim Corbin, I might throw those games.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I hate the way I hate Vanderbilt. I got to imagine if I'm somehow a Vanderbilt fan, if I'm a Vanderbilt coach, I probably hate Tennessee the same. I know Tim Corbin does. So,
I think with Vanderbilt, they had to. They're also trying, like, if they weren't in the NCAA tournament, I think it's a totally different.
Yeah, no, they're in. Yeah, but the thing is, too, is they're still not locked.
No, they're gonna.
They still have to make some noise in Hoover.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably throwing that game. I'm gonna be honest. I also like that, which I would have done it as well, maybe in a different way, but that Kentucky drops that graphic on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I maybe just would have waited so it didn't, because you saw their fans respond. It kind of really just broke their spirits that they weren't the only ones when it was all said and done. And I think it would have been this. I think it would have sucked if roles were reversed. I get posting on Friday, but I think if then another team got to post it on Saturday, I think I would have been upset and sad.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really know what you do in that situation because I think you have to post something that you at least have a share of, like you at least clinch a share of it.
Right. I don't think I post the graphic. I think I just say like, hey, that's a share. Guaranteed share.
Yeah. But man, to lose kind of the way that they just got whooped.
Did you see I don't know how they really won the Friday game, and in the fashion they won the Friday game. Did you just see the box score?
17-7. That what it was?
17-7. They only had like 12 hits. Vanderbilt had like 14. It was a weird box score. Something like that.
No, I don't know. I didn't really see that. I just kept seeing score updates. Kentucky scored. Kentucky scored. Kentucky scored. I'm like, good God. I mean, I was just like, Vanderbilt's not going to help us at all this week, and I guess maybe I just doubted them enough where they did come through on Sunday. So a little reverse psychology there.
Yeah, this is a graphic, so I guess it could be a typo, but it says Vanderbilt had 14 hits, 7 runs, 1 error. Kentucky had 12 hits, 17 runs, 0 errors. It's such a weird. I mean, just the way the fashion in which that happened. I'm like, all right, you suck.
Yeah.
And
then Vanderbilt kind of sets them up where they beat Kentucky, and they get the number 8 seed, I think. Yeah, the number 8 seed,
and they get to play Tennessee.
Yeah. So
also, I think if you're gonna, I love getting to say you're a champion. I think though, if you're not gonna try to break ties at all, I don't think you should say champions. I think you should say this is for seeding purposes only.
Okay, yeah, I'm down for that.
Even if someone wins it outright, I think if you before the season starts in your bylaws you say we are not crowning champ, we're not going to break ties. I think you should say this just is for seeding, because I just don't get the point of not even trying to break ties.
Yeah. Well, and the crazy thing about it is like Kentucky puts out that graphic and then they somehow end up being the 3 seed because they lose a game and Tennessee wins. And now it's like, I mean, they felt like they didn't win anything. And I would feel the same way. Like,
I'd be pissed with it, which is my next point. The whole East-West is 1 and 2 is even dumber.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
it's so dumb.
I guess you have I don't know. You get something out of it. You get a share of it. I guess you can put up a banner or something on the wall or something like that. But yeah, it just does not feel the same when you're going into Hoover with a share of the SEC title and you're also a 3 seed.
You're a 3 seed, and what that means too. Not that there's any teams you necessarily prefer to play in the SEC. It's a tough league, but that also means as a 3 seed, instead of getting Alabama or South Carolina, you get either a Georgia team with one of the best players in baseball, or you get LSU. Sure, fair share struggles, but are we going to deny the talent loaded on that roster? And that those are the 2 teams you get because you're the 3 seed? It's just I hate to kind of defend Kentucky. That is the far dumber part of it than the co-champions, that they get the 3 seed instead of the 2.
Yeah. And also, like, I mean, a lot of these teams that are playing in the first round, like Georgia they want to host.
Yeah.
They want to host a super regional too. So they need to be that top 8 seed. I think they're ranked number 9 right now. They did lose, I think, their series to Florida. I'm pretty sure. So they want to see if they can do that. They're going to have to go pretty far way in the SEC tournament to probably get that. And I think LSU's like, are we even in the tournament? So if we're not, like, we have to go win the whole thing. So they're gonna have they're gonna have teams that are hungry, not just like ready to pack it up and call it quits.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I would be shocked if I don't think Florida gets in.
I think they're projected to miss right now, at least. I mean, I guess
and
if
I
you
think
go and
LSU was
I
right
guess
on
if you
that
go
board, too.
if you go and win the tournament, I guess you have a say in that. But yeah, I don't love the setup of the baseball tournament and the baseball regular season champs. Kind of similar. The basketball tournament, I think it's just the dates are dumb. Other than that, I don't have a problem with it. I feel like it's going to get real dumb with you're adding 2 teams to the mix.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like you're looking at it going, we just have too many teams in the league right now. But, fun. We get to add 2 more.
Yeah, I also don't understand why we're playing Sunday at 2 p.m. We start this tournament on Tuesday at 9:30 a.m. Central Time. We can't finish it up before Sunday. That makes no sense to me.
It's one of those things that you're not if you somehow get to Sunday and you win, you're excited. If you get to Sunday and you lose, you're like, what's the point?
That was a waste.
If you lose after Thursday, you're kind of like, all right, cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, rest up. It's a weird one. You don't necessarily. Here's the thing too. If you do make it to Sunday, you don't want to make it to Sunday and have dropped a game already, because that just means you've played one more.
Yeah. Yeah, just more pitching that you've lost, and you got to. I think Friday or even Thursday you start a regional.
Or I guess I should say, if you do lose one, maybe you just don't win on Sunday. Or no, because it's just single elimination at that point. It's not like the NCAA. Never mind. So you don't play an extra game. Sorry. Once you make it to the championship, correct? It's just
just one game. Yeah,
but never mind. Scratch that. It doesn't matter. Just kidding.
But if you have lost one, you've played another game because you've lost one because you've been in the loser bracket.
Okay. I thought okay. Yeah, I guess you would have to. I'm looking at the bracket though, and it's not making a ton of sense. But
and also, I mean, Jeff Harrison put it in here. We number 1 overall seed ? I mean, that's to be determined. I guess Hoover has a lot to do with that. It could be Tennessee, Kentucky, A&M, Arkansas. Like any of those teams probably could get it. I just think it's going to be so dumb if that is the deciding factor, because in reality, this SEC tournament means absolutely nothing.
Yeah, and I know they put a ton of care into RPI, and so that's I guess why at this point, because if you look at that, the separation is one way, but if you look at actual rankings and I guess what games say, actual games that are played, because the only stat that matters in sports is the final. Mm-hmm. Then you have, it says another thing. I guess the equalizer in that would be this tournament, but like you said, a lot of teams aren't.
Coaches hate this tournament.
Yeah.
They do not care about it at all. Now, I do think the one thing, if Tennessee gets anything out of Hoover, and it's not an SEC tournament championship, it's to get A.J. Russell as many opportunities as possible.
Yeah.
That you can, like, within reason.
Yeah, you like Landon said, you want to pitch him for a 9-inning game right off the bat.
Yeah. But, I mean, like, if you don't see him in the SEC tournament, I just have a hard time thinking that you're going to see much of him in postseason play when it actually matters.
Yeah, if we don't see him on Wednesday for at least a minute,
mm-hmm.
I'm thinking
he's probably done.
Yeah, which sucks.
But I mean, like, as much flack as Tennessee's taken, that Alabama game, so many people were like, we just don't have the pitching. Bullpen's not good. And I mean, no group has or position has improved as much as that bullpen has over the past 4 or 5 weeks.
Right.
I mean, Aaron Combs is shoving, AJ Causey's shoving, Nate Snead's shoving. And then you're starting pitching. Like, they gave up 5 earned runs to a ranked South Carolina team this week.
Yeah, and I mean, you kind of knew what you had outside of your Sunday starter with AJ Russell going out. And so I think I'm going to pump him up, and I'm biased, but, man, the job that Xander Seacrest has done becoming your Sunday starter and definitely not – it's not always been the easiest ride. There's been some roller coaster moments, but the season he's pieced together in that role it's been massive for Tennessee.
Yeah. And
yesterday was a little cherry on top to that story, I think, and just the way he pitched for 6 1/3. Is that what it was? I don't have the box score in front of me.
6 innings.
6 innings, okay.
Yeah.
And just a cherry on top to performance. He really did an exceptional job this year, but especially Saturday, and shaved for 6 innings.
Shave for 6 innings. Thank God that we can edit tweets now. That was the best thing money could buy. Honestly. Yeah, Caleb said that. I was like, I mean, he might have.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing in the dugout.
They do go in that back room
Yeah.
pretty often, so maybe he's just in there just trimming up real quick.
He's taking like a piece off of his mustache every half inning.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's done a really nice job carving out that role, which is, I mean, it's now going to be even more crucial in postseason that because you were hoping you get AJ, and at one point in the season you realize, all right, he's never going to get back to a starter role.
Mm-hmm.
But you held out hope there in April when they're talking about his comeback, that you would get another starter back. And as that gets more evident, Xander's development became as a starter in that role became more crucial. And so much needed. And the improvement of that group as a whole has been massive, and you feel really good going into postseason right now.
Yeah. I mean, everybody is just like, everything is solidified, and just like adding AJ Russell back is just going to be added bonus. Like, I don't think he starts, or if he does start, it's going to be very small.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he's just, for me, I think you don't mess with anything. You just add him as another bullpen arm that you have.
Right.
Kind of like he was last season, and just try it out that way, see if it works. And, hopefully he's able to stay healthy. And that's, again, everybody's going to be much better because, it sucks that you lose a starter, but it's, like you said, help Xander. It's helped, AJ Causey was a starter for a little bit. Didn't work out. They got Stamos in there. He's doing a great job. And then you got Causey coming out of the bullpen on Friday nights, and it's been lethal. And then Aaron Combs is, I mean, I think he faced 12 batters this weekend and struck out 5 of them. No hits. I mean, he was just some nasty stuff on the mound from him. And, yeah, I mean, that's what was probably your weakness in that first SEC series is now one of your strengths. So,
yeah.
Been big to kind of see this team, because after the Alabama series, you're like, oh man, that sucks. Like, it's going to be hard to, get a national seed. And here we are where, if everything worked out like it is today, Tennessee's getting the number 1 national seed in the country.
Yeah. Yeah. It obviously nice to get the national seed. It's also one of those things.
Be number 1, stay number 1.
But it's also one of those things, like, get in the position, you're like, all right, just go win, get to Omaha, be done with it.
Yeah. Yeah, ready to get postseason play up and running. Another good thing about Tennessee is, like, they've been here before. Christian Moore, Blake Burke, Billy Amick, even Dylan Dreiling last year. Like, they've been a part of. No, they haven't. Dylan Dreiling and Billy Amick hasn't done it in Lindsey Nelson, but I think that's just another added bonus. Like, you don't have to go into somebody else's backyard and play and deal with another opposing fan base and travel and all that stuff. It's just kind of right there in front of you, and they've set themselves up nicely to be able to host and carry that momentum, and you get your fan base behind you, and that's kind of all you want in postseason play.
Yeah, absolutely.
I did kind of want to mention like just the weekend in general. Tennessee does sweep South Carolina. South Carolina was a team that just wanted to increase kind of their seeding. But they end up with a number 10 seed in the tournament, and they were ranked the number 24th team in the country last week. But apparently a lot of South Carolina fans want Mark Kingston gone, which I don't really know much about him, but I know they haven't been good in a while. I shouldn't say good. They haven't been great in a while.
Right.
And I think a lot of that probably has to do with, Clemson being good at baseball. That is kind of tough, but it's kind of like the Tennessee Vanderbilt thing. Vanderbilt's gone down since Tennessee's came up. It's just kind of hard to have like two teams in that close proximity be good. And yeah, for whatever reason, they want him gone, so they were kind of cheering it for Tennessee, I think, in some way.
Is that enough? I don't know. I feel like this has been a topic for South Carolina fans the last few seasons where they just haven't finished where they thought they would, where they wanted to finish. And as the season's kind of rounded out, I feel like there's been talks of, all right, let's move on. Where can we go now? So that's not shocking to hear that maybe they were rooting against them a little bit, but.
Yeah, just excited for postseason play, excited to be back in Lindsey Nelson, and, got to go on Saturday, and I was just like, man, it feels good. Like, this is the last regular season game, but we'll be back here in 2 weeks for regionals. So excited about it, excited to see who the draw is, excited to see how NCAA or committee screws Tennessee in some way. I look forward to being on social media for that, so.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of kind of that same direction, man, I don't want to take anything away from, because I don't think it's one of those things that Christian Moore's just head and shoulders clear better picture SEC player of the year is Jack Caglione and Charlie Condon, but it's very reminiscent of 2022 and Trey Lipscomb and two phenomenal players, and Sonny DeShera and Dylan Cruz, but I just don't get it, man. I don't get that I don't get that the talk is those two as co-players of the year potentially, and Christian Moore's left out. I kind of went over 2022 because I didn't really exactly remember how it laid out, and I'm going to be 100% honest. I don't know how Dylan Cruz just didn't win it outright after looking at the stats. If anything, it was really kind of, if you just look at overall, if you take out, if you not take out, but you don't just separate SEC stats, it was DeShera and Lipscomb led in every category. One of those two, just about every category. I think there was one that Cruz led in. And it's not that he was far behind. He's right. But they led there. But then when you just look at SEC, it was Cruz all the way. Everything was Dylan Cruz. And so I don't know how he didn't win it outright anyways. And I don't know how, if you did I don't know how Trey Lipscomb wasn't in the mix as well. Doesn't really make sense to me. I do side with my man RG3. I've always said great athlete, great commentator, great analyst. He knows what he's talking about, and not just football but baseball. And he said Trey Lipscomb should have won, and I agree with that.
Yeah.
Smart guy. A lot of people say great guy.
Man of his work, yeah.
Yeah. So it's just really reminiscent of that. If you look at the overall body of work, but it's interesting. You look at the overall body of work. So let's look at this. So Dylan Cruz overall body of work, he was the bottom of those three. Christian Moore, bottom of those three. Overall body of work. Then you separate SEC play, and there's one guy that leads in all the categories. And in 2022, that was Dylan Cruz. He's part of that co-SEC player of the year. In 2024, it's Christian Moore, and he's not getting that benefit that Dylan Cruz got. And people are saying, well, look at Christian Moore's lineup. Look at Dylan Cruz' lineup in 2022.
Yeah, exactly.
What are we talking about?
Yeah.
And I don't understand. Then why do any players on any good teams win awards if we're going to say, look at what's around them when they win those?
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to do SEC Player of the Year, it's got to be SEC body of work. I don't care what you did against Albany in February.
I don't entirely disagree with that. I think that's like if he's like, yeah, he hit 8 home runs against that team, then yeah, I'm okay with saying let's make sure. I'm okay with saying let's look at the overall body of work. All right, I mean, I think that should be considered. I don't think that should be the only thing, because that's also saying, because you don't do that in football. You don't do that in
I'm saying that because that was the whole argument of why Trey Lipscomb did not win. That is because Dylan Cruz and I guess some Sonny DeShara had better stats in some categories than Trey Lipscomb did in SEC play.
They did lead Lipscomb in all SEC categories, but he was also right there. It wasn't like he was way down the list for them.
Yeah. So if you're gonna use that criteria, you have to use it this year.
Yeah, yes, I do agree with that take. Yeah.
And the fact that the reason Christian Moore probably will not win it is because this award was not decided, but it was a 2-man race to begin the season.
Well, yes, it was. And let me present 2 problems with that logic, Landon. It's not your logic that's at fault; it's others. But let me present it, because others will tell you you're dumb. Well, Landon, you forget that the thing about 2022 is they had already decided who they were going to do, and so they use that SEC thing to justify why they're doing it. Similar to the logic this year of how they had decided it for you, they also are going to say, well, look at the full body of work, because it's not how it's how can we justify the ends using the means, not do the means. So it's dumb. They're deciding and then turning around and saying, how did we decide that? Not, all right, let's lay out our criteria. Now let's get to the end. They're getting to the end, turning around and saying, how did we get here? And we talked to our boy Brody Rollins this week. I'm gonna draw some parallels here. Brody Rollins, some know him as Brody Football, the original. In 2015, he had better stats in almost every category than a very, very highly rated prospect, a guy by the name that I love, and love, Juwan Jennings. Juwan Jennings won Mr. Football. That award was decided based on how he was projected at the next level, based on who he signed with already at the next level, based on his prospects. That award was done and won before December when it was voted upon. Didn't matter what Brody did. Jack Caglione, Charlie Condon, they are projected to be high first round draft picks. They're expected to be playing MLB baseball here soon. They're expected to be the next great baseball players. Christian Moore's not getting that love. And so writers, people who call themselves sports writers, people who call themselves baseball writers, are saying, look at these 2 great players. They're clearly SEC players of the year. And then they go look at the stats and they go, well, if you look at the overall body of work, if you look at what they did against Albany in March, they are. It doesn't matter what Christian Moore did. He only did it for a few months, right? I mean, he only did it against a few SEC teams. They're picking who they want. They heard the names before the season started. Christian Moore, he got buried underneath a bunch of other really, really good players.
Yeah.
He wasn't talked about a lot. These other 2 guys were talked about a lot. They decided in February that these were going to be these guys were going to be the last 2 standing, that last mile for SEC Player of the Year. Well, when Christian Moore was with them for the last mile, they didn't know what to do. And they just don't care at this point.
Yeah, I mean, the SEC thought it was going to be super easy. Hey, we'll just make these 2 guys SEC Players of the Year, and then
now they have a triple crown. They have a triple crown winner that they're like, I don't know what to do with.
Yeah, and Triple Crown winner, I think he's tied with Condon with RBIs, but Christian Moore's body of work is way more impressive because he's batting leadoff. He has to hit behind a 9-hole hitter. No offense to Cal Stark, but who's Caglione and Condon? They're batting like second or third in the lineup. They get a guy on, like that's usually
they're designed to be hitting with guys on base.
Exactly. And Christian Moore is not. And the fact that he's hitting the amount of home runs and hitting for average and even getting RBI numbers like that is insane.
And I think that's another frustrating aspect. I'm okay with not putting that context into it because you have all of these analytics in baseball that tell that story without telling that story. So I'm okay with it. My problem becomes that you look at all these analytics and then people they want to skew. They want their narrative to fit, and they'll fit their narrative how they want. And they go, well, but we don't talk about how many times Charlie Condon and Jack Caglione get walked. I'm like, yes, we do. We talk about that in batting average. We talk about that in OPS. That's what those stats say. It's not like them getting balls on base counts against their batting average.
Yeah.
It's not, that's not how that works. And so we have all these things that tell those that give us that context. Why are we ignoring them?
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to sit here and say, well, he gets these guys are getting pitched around, and so he gets more opportunities to hit home runs. Oh, so when they had better overall statistics, we're not going to use that same deal. That only matters in SEC play. They only got pitched around in SEC play. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah. Also, are we not even going to throw out the fact that Tennessee is the number one team in the country right now? I mean, Jack Caglione, he's a really good baseball player. Guess what? Florida's not even going to the NCAA tournament. So what does it matter?
It's funny that's told. If let's put this in a football context, if Jack Caglione doesn't matter, let's say he's projected number one overall pick in the NFL draft. If he's on a Florida team that goes 5-7 and ain't going to play in a bowl game, he's not talked about in the Heisman race. He's laughed at for getting on the plane to New York.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter if he threw for 45 touchdowns.
Yeah. I don't understand it. I don't understand the whole deciding on it.
I don't understand
and I don't even know what's going to happen, but I just know it's not going to be Christian Moore because
I will be shocked if he's even a and I'm fine with him being a co-SEC player of the year if that's how you feel. But in my opinion, you cannot leave him out of the co-SEC player of the year scenario. No. You can't.
No.
And another thing is I don't know a lot about baseball. I'll be the first one to admit that. But I feel these every batting average, slugging percentage, OBS, OPS, everything is supposed to help you identify who the great players are. But now when we're doing that, when we're using those statistics, now you're telling me that doesn't identify who the best player is.
Sure.
So why do we even keep the stats? Why do we have all these obscure I don't get it.
Yeah.
And now you wonder why people don't want to watch baseball. And I'm okay with context. But if you just contextualize it just to justify your narrative, then what are we doing?
Yeah. Give him the award. He's earned it. Give it to him.
I do not understand. If he's not a part of the co, I don't get it. In fact, I would be more okay with it if they just give it to Condon by himself at this point.
Yeah.
At least it's like a dude that's just blown up everything all year. But if you then go, well, we're also going to give Jack Caglione because he can also get homers hit off of him, then what are we doing? Oh, he goes to the pitcher's mound one game and gets just drilled? Yeah. I'm sorry. He's a great pitcher. He's also struggled some too. So
they also have a terrible record.
Yeah, they lose. But anyways, I'm just saying that he's not pitched well enough to be like, yeah, that's the SEC player of the year, clear outright. Mm-hmm. He's not pitched that well. And so if they decide to throw him in there, what feels like a charity case because he wears an orange and an F on his chest, then it's a fraudulent award, just like the basketball player of the year has become now.
I would argue that being a two-way player, you have more of an impact on your team winning or losing.
I think that's a great point. I mean, yeah, I think that's a great point. Also, that play Christian Moore made on Friday night because that's another thing people were talking about with like Gaglione. They were like, well, Christian Moore's just not a big impact defensively. And I'm like, that's not true, first off. And then he made that play Friday, and I was like, play of the year. That's done. Done and said and done now. He said his piece. It's done. Because that's just not true. I mean, he's been a very solid defensive player for Tennessee the entire time here, let alone this year. So yeah, he's not got MLB scouts drooling over his defensive play, but
yeah, whatever. Who cares? Also going back to the 2022 race, what players in the MLB right now? Trey Lipscomb. Guess where Dylan Cruz is at?
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Still in the Nationals farm system where Trey Lipscomb was, and then he got called up. So it makes no sense.
Where's is Sony DeShera in a pizzeria, or where's he at?
Yeah, he was with the Trash Pandas for a while. I don't know where he's at now.
And I will say this for Sony DeShera. Electric Factory. You get a player like that, I get it. You love it.
Yeah.
But
what position is he going to play?
Yeah. But it goes into like we're talking about right now, Christian Moore. Look at the team around him. Yeah, Dylan Cruz was playing for Florida. I mean, this year's Florida team, apparently, the way people talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, Jeff Harrison he's not Todd Helton. I mean, people literally are thinking Jack Caglione is that good of a pitcher where he can throw a complete game on Friday and also throw and get you a save on Sunday. Like, no, he doesn't do that. He pitches like 5 innings.
Yeah. It's been freakish what Condon's done this year. But also, again, look at where he's at, his team's at too. Not that it's it's not a Florida by any means.
Christian Moore beat both of them head to head.
Yeah. Yep.
So.
And Landon, they did forget to mention that they really did. They haven't been said a whole lot, but I saw it said in a message board today. Christian Moore does play in a small park, and we haven't talked about that. We haven't talked about that enough. There's I did the statistics, and every other park in the nation would have held that 418 foot home run.
Yeah.
So there's not a single park other than Lindsey Nelson that one's out in. So have you considered that?
I have not, but also Charlie Condon got to enjoy Lindsey Nelson for 3 games this year too. So
yeah.
Also, any park that Charlie Condon's at is not a big ballpark.
It is funny. We're not going to sit here and deny. We laugh about it all the time. We've talked to pitchers, Tennessee pitchers, on this about how they have to also pitch in that park. We've laughed about it. We've talked about Luke Lipsius hitting it over the short, hitting just line drives over the short fence in right field. But it's also funny when you go look at other parks, and they're not just super long in the corners. Like, they're very similar.
Yeah.
And then also, a lot of Christian Moore's home runs are gone everywhere.
Yeah, 100%. He's not just getting cheap ones.
Y'all talked about this on the bat flip. I wanted to chime in how that one at Vanderbilt, Christian Moore's home run.
Uh-huh.
I think he knew it was out the moment he hit it. I think he really just leaned so far back into it. He had to get his step, because his first step out of it was a swagger. That's a home run step, in my opinion.
Okay.
But he did have to catch his balance. Because I was watching him. It flashed to him, and the announcers are like, and I was like, that's gone, right? He doesn't do that if it's not gone.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the announcer is just like,
it came off the bat weird.
Yeah.
It came off the bat high.
It's a home run. Like, he was.
Yeah, he was confused.
And I think even if you watch the catcher's reaction, he was just like, I think he was yelling out. Out,
he had it going.
Yeah, like out of play, but I mean, I guess he was technically right. It was out of the ballpark too.
Yeah, I thought with Christian Moore's first step, I thought he was sure of it. It wasn't quite as confident as Blake Bird's suck it, but it was a swagger step for sure. Also, him dropping the suck it and Tony Vitello just immediately getting fired up from it. I was like, that's again, I get why people hate us, but man, is it fun.
Oh yeah.
It's fun.
Also that like it in that moment, it's gotta be like
I think he blacked out.
yeah,
I
like
think it was a flip
it's the
off,
Jordan
double bird,
Beck
double.
thing.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't remember doing that. Yeah. He was just I mean, I'm sure like after the fact he's like, oh man, why'd I do that? But also electric.
Kind of sick.
Yeah. I wish I could hit a grand slam in the rain 448 feet so I could just do that.
Yeah. I would probably do the suck it thing all the way around the base. Like
Yeah.
every time I touched another base, I'd hit another suck it.
Suck it. Suck
Yeah.
it.
So that'd be 1 suck it, 2 suck it, 3 suck it. That'd be 5 suck it's that I'd hit.
Seconds. Okay.
Yeah. Because I do one off the bat like he did, and then one for every base. So I'm hitting 5 suck it's.
Somebody else that kind of impressed me this week, and this is, I mean, South Carolina's catcher looks 48 years old, Cole Messina. That dude's awesome. Number one, he's like, I think he was like trying to. So there was like a foul ball, and it went behind the backstop, and Tony Vitello went out there and ran after it, and Cole Messina is on deck, and he's just like chirping at Tony Vitello, like I guess trying to joke with him. Tony Vitello's in the zone; he doesn't hear him at all. But he was just like, it just seemed like he was having a good time, and the guy's catching and batting like 320.
Wow. Yeah.
Pretty sick.
Yeah. Yard cocks.
Yeah, I love a catcher that can hit for average. Also, love a team that gets swept by Tennessee. So, for sure.
What's out the brooms? Because
Yeah.
it's a mess.
It was a mess. Anything else?
I don't really have anything. I mean, I'm sure I could talk about baseball a little more. I don't really have anything else. We'll save some of the weekend for the bat flip. Let you guys get into that tomorrow night. I'm sure you'll preview Hoover as well. I'm not sure what your plans are, but if you aren't,
I do have a
then don't
most
think you have to.
important for yesterday.
Okay.
So Jim Worthington, the oldest Tennessee letterman throughout the first pitch,
Okay.
he was 98 years old. Yeah, walked out there and like, so they put him like way in front of the mound. Sure.
Lame. Put him on the bump.
But like he comes out there and the first thing he does was put the ball behind him and like look at the catcher like he was like in the windup. It was awesome.
That is awesome. What an electric factory.
Yeah.
How's the pitch?
How
far would Christian Moore hit?
I've seen some of our players swing at pitches worse than this. So, yeah, I mean, it was, how you like it in kickball, slow and bouncy.
Okay. I was hoping maybe like he threw his age. Like, yeah, he had a 98 mile per hour fastball with the plate.
Yeah, he hit Charlie Taylor right in the chin.
Oh, did Kirby not catch it? I thought he was permanent first pitch.
That's what I thought, but they had Charlie Taylor do it.
I bet he chose. If they let you choose, I bet he chose Charlie Taylor. Wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, probably the other oldest letterman.
All right. Well, let's flash a little bit to college football, but not real college football. It's real in my mind. I do want to talk about something that I had a fantasy, I had a rookie draft for my dynasty league today, and we talked about something. We were talking about the new college football game, and we may have mentioned this on the podcast before, but one of the most absurd aspects of any video game I've ever played, and it's hilarious, and I kind of wish they'd bring it back just for nostalgic and the absurdity. I don't remember how long they had Campus Legend as the game mode on NCAA football, but in Campus Legend, when you go around your room, you had a desk, and when you zoomed in on the desk, you had a picture of a girl who was presumably your girlfriend.
Yeah,
and
it would change.
She started off. It was very similar to Shrek, how Fiona was an ogre and this girl was every bit of an ogre. And if you went out and threw like 6 touchdowns in your first appearance, she got hotter immediately. But yeah, she progressively got more attractive the better you were. And I think that's an absurd feature to throw in. Mm-hmm. I don't know who came up with it, but it's so hilarious. I really want that in the new college football game.
Oh man, yeah. Also the so they released a trailer. And there was Smokey, and then the greatest. There was a number 35, which could have been, I think, Will Brooks or another kind of walk-on wide receiver. But behind them was the best spring game player of all time in Gaston Moore.
Shout out. So
he's opted in apparently, and
I really thought he'd go the Manning route.
Yeah, I can't wait. Like, I might just do a dynasty one day. I might get bored one day and just do a whole like season with Gaston Moore and win him the Heisman, just because.
You say bored. I might just do that right off the rip.
Just go Gaston Moore.
Gaston, I'm gonna have you the hottest girlfriend on campus by the time I get done with your campus legend here.
That might just be my like road to glory players, just Gaston Moore.
Permanently Gaston Moore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty fired up for this game. I really I hope the gameplay is good. I hope they don't go too overboard with the modes. Give us Dynasty, give us a road to glory, campus legend equivalent. I like the high school aspect. I hope they keep that in. I think it's in the road to the show, you start out and you go to like showcases.
Mm-hmm.
I like that aspect of that game, so I hope they do it similar. Because I think in 2K, the last 2K I played, my player mode, you only get like. Actually, I think the last one I played had a college version in it where you play similar to that. I'll take that back. But some of them have had just where you do like one training to get your player better. And what I don't like about those is that with high school, you could play a full season where you could make your guy actually pretty good. Road to the show, you couldn't really improve him before you got drafted, which I just didn't like. I guess the idea is you're going to start off in single A ball, but I feel like you could have played a season and still started off in single A ball. So I do like that aspect, and I hope the high school one continues. It was also fun just to do a random high school, be in Alaska or do one from your hometown, and then however you decided to do it, go to the playoffs, state championship, all that stuff. It was a fun game. It was a fun mode. I hope they continue it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and one thing like people are just like it's going to be the same thing as Madden, like the gameplay, and I'm like, part of me just like, yeah, I don't love the Madden gameplay. But also, like, one reason why I don't love Madden is just because it's not college football.
Yes, but also, since NCAA's not been in existence, I would obviously play Madden then at that point. I always would buy it, but didn't play it very often. I do think the Madden gameplay is atrocious. That's why I haven't played Madden in years.
Yeah.
I hope it's very different. I agree with the main reason I didn't play Madden originally, but then I started playing it and stopped because the gameplay got so bad.
Yeah. Well, it's like you said, they don't have like when you're trying to play like the My Player mode, like the storyline sucks. Like it's not good at all. I mean, 2K is not good and it's way worse than 2K.
If they do cutscenes, I will riot. Speaking of 2K, I will riot. Or if you do cutscenes, let me skip them. I don't want to do recruiting visits. And talk to a coach and click some. Don't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. Yeah, just offer me a scholarship.
I want to play the game.
Yeah. Also, with this new NIL that is supposedly in the game, are we just going to have kind of like 2K where you have like your own like basketball court, like you're in your apartment?
Yeah, that's a good point. I think you may. What I need them to really bring back, and I don't necessarily need this one, but soon, there was a few NCAA games where you could create teams. There was a website you create teams and import them into the game, so you could get a lot more intricate with it, with the jerseys and the logos. I really need that. I need that.
Well, the good thing is there is going to be checker kneeling, and I think they said every team gets at least one alternate uniform.
At least one, or
At least one.
I was
Yeah.
about to say. I mean, first off, Oregon's going to have 75, so we should get our alternates.
Yeah. And maybe that's just like, I guess, making sure like every team gets.
It's
one.
probably just to give more options. So like
Yeah.
Tennessee, before you just had orange and white, they probably would have thrown in like a throwback, an older uniform or something to compensate for that. That's probably what they'll do.
Mm-hmm. Who are you gonna build like a dynasty with? Obviously, like, yes, Tennessee's one, but like, who else are you gonna try to like? Everybody tries to build up a terrible team. Like, who are you gonna build up?
Yeah, man. Someone threw out the idea of starting in Alabama and tanking, and then when you get fired, then you start. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna start out of Alabama, go 0-12, and just make sure that program really gets run into the ground, and then restart just with like another offer somewhere. Start my rehab, probably max school. I'm trying to end up at like Ohio or Central Michigan, go Chippewas. I don't know. I haven't put too much thought into that yet.
I think I'm gonna go Sam Houston.
Okay.
The Bearcats.
Okay.
Also, like Kennesaw State, I think that's an interesting one.
That'll be in the game.
One like I would never really. It's kind of baffling to me that they're even like in Division One.
Yeah. Well, they're in FBS now.
Yeah. That's what I meant. FBS, sorry.
But it would be sick if they did FCS schools. I would love to play with ETSU or Chattanooga.
That would be cool.
I'd be ETSU in every. That's where I would start. I might stay there until I can get them into FBS and eventually the SEC.
Oh, Jonathan said Western Kentucky and Elijah Young.
Will he be in that game?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's one more year. Yeah.
One more year. He graduated though, right? So is it redshirt?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great start.
Yeah. I'm excited. I already took off work that day.
That's just, I mean, I'm not faulting you. That's a way in advance. Credit to you for getting that day put in early.
Yeah, I just had to beat the crowd.
Smart.
Yeah, it's like when you go to, I shouldn't say this, but when you go to lunch on Sunday, you got to go a little early, you know?
We should do a tournament
Okay.
when it comes out.
Friendships are going to be ruined.
I think so. I think they should. I think that game matters.
Yeah. I can't wait to finally just not play a shooting game. I'm just not good at them. So I'm excited to go back to playing a sports game again because Madden doesn't do it for me and neither does 2K. So I'm excited to have. And honestly, like the gameplay, I mean, just make the graphics a little bit better, but make it the same as you did in 2014. It shouldn't be that difficult, right?
Correct. It's one of those things. Why fix if it's not broken?
Yeah. I mean, that's all you got to do is clear up the picture a little bit, make it a little bit more lifelike, like you were doing every single year up to that point.
Yeah. Did you see that Clemson player? I can't remember his name. I saw him on Twitter getting upset. He got upset because they released in the trailer. He was like, "I'm not that fat."
I did see where they had 2 number 40s for Wyoming on defense.
Ooh, Wyoming would be a good starting spot.
That would be cool. Yeah,
not quite as low, but it's a you get to.
I might just pick up to the teams that I've done in the past, like Idaho, Tulane.
Idaho doesn't play. Do they still play in the indoor though? That was Idaho State that had the indoor, and they're FCS now.
It was Idaho. The Vandals. They played in the dome.
Are they FCS then? Or are they FBS? I thought they were FCS now. Whoever played in the dome. Whoever played in the dome, I thought they were. Look that up. I used to play Washington State when I would play people all the time. I didn't do dynasties with them. I like Washington State. I don't know why. Just something about those double field goal post. Cougars. They had a lot of good. They had some fun alternates.
They are FCS. Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Dang, they got demoted.
I think they were just like, hey, this is too much money for us, and we're not making money. So
Yeah, I feel that.
we're going to go play in the
Yeah.
playoffs.
They're in the big sky. So
yeah.
if they add FCS, down the road, that'd be cool to start at a FCS, like as a coach.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Or even start, because like when you start as a coach, you start at a college. I think it'd be cool to have them start at like high school.
Okay. So you do a road to glory with the coach.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that. I think we should do a game play as a
ropes.
Yeah. I just get fired from a bunch of high schools, have a second family, and never really make it.
And always
definitely.
be brought up in news.
And then my story would kind of intertwine, and I'd end up as a fifth grade basketball coach.
Girls basketball coach.
Is Jeremy Pruitt coaching fifth grade girls basketball?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's I think that's my route. I think we should do a podcast group project where we do a dynasty mode and we let the listeners pick like all of our landing spots. So we'll play a season wherever they pick first. And then if they want to stay, we'll stay. If they want us to leave, we leave. Each coaching cycle.
I'm in.
I think that's what we do.
Yeah, let's do that. Oh, content's going to be through the roof.
I just hope
the ceiling is the roof.
I hope our listeners don't let me down, and I hope they choose the most absurd paths possible.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go from the head coach at Georgia to an offensive coordinator at, I don't know, let's say UMass.
Okay.
Like, I want it to be the most absurd choices possible. Please don't make any logical decisions when we do this.
Oh, yeah. I think you should be able to make the switch to offense defense too. So you could be an offensive coordinator at UMass, and then the next year you're like, this ain't working out. I think I'm going to go defense and be the defense coordinator at Vanderbilt.
Yeah, I like that.
You could be the Travis Hunter of coordinator jobs.
We should do a Vanderbilt dynasty where we make them really, really good, but they still never win anything, even in fantasy land. Like, we don't ever win a championship.
So we just go like 7-5 every year.
We could do that, but I was thinking even like you give them the hope of going to a college football playoff and then you just lose in the championship.
Or like the first game.
Or yeah.
Lose.
Yeah. You are hosting a game. You are hosting one though.
Yeah, losing at home in a college football playoff, that would suck.
Really, what I'm going to do is I'm going to conference or alignment when I start every time, even when I don't start in the SEC, and kick Vanderbilt out.
You going to add in their place?
Middle Tennessee.
Okay.
We're going to keep it in house.
That's good. I was trying to think of what else we could do. I would love to be good enough to do like a defensive one. It's just so hard.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's fun though. But yeah, it's hard. It's much harder than offense.
Yeah.
I think too, they need to add in. Did you ever play that? I can't remember that football mobile game. I played it for a long, long time and I loved it. But your players would lose, I guess, like their progressions or whatever, like their skill points. Randomly be like, this person was late to a team meeting. Something like that. If I'm the head coach at Georgia and I don't have to suspend at least like 6 players a year for reckless driving, I don't even want the game.
Yeah. I love that it's an everyday thing. It's like Georgia football player arrested for driving the wrong way on the road today.
The only acceptable cutscenes is me going to bail players out of jail. That's the only ones I'll take.
Or you having to do the phone call like Jeremy Pruitt.
Hey, coach, this is Officer Gillis with the Louisville PD department.
It could be
your starting defensive end ripped my $80 pair of pants, and I'm gonna haul him off to jail for felony assault.
Yeah, they should make
This is
a
stupid shit I've ever seen.
downloadable thing where it's like GTA. So there's cuts like that where you can just like maul somebody in the road.
Would you like to put this gram of weed in your car just to get pulled over for running a stop sign and arrested?
Yeah.
Select yes or no.
I'm in.
Oh yeah, do it. Do it. Hey, you can pay this traffic ticket or not, and in 6 months you'll get pulled over and arrested for not paying it. How about that? Yes. Done.
I hope you could do that and then go to JUCO.
Yeah. I want to play for Buddy Stevens after I don't show up to tutoring throughout the semester, and then the final straw is I yell at a coach because he won't play quarterback in the bowl game.
Yeah, Buddy Stevens is yelling at my mom, and I'm trying to score my 4th touchdown in junior college.
He's yelling at my progressively ugly girlfriend because they don't have hot ones in JUCO.
And we have a weird guy that sits up at the top of the stadium and growls the entire game.
I think we need this. Me and JB get into it at a game.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
we get in a fist fight on the sidelines, and then he puts me out on the next drive anyways, and he wonders why I'm not held accountable.
I think before every junior college game, you get a speech from Jason Brown. You have to do that chant that he does.
Yeah, if you don't follow along correctly, you lose skill points.
Yeah, it's like name that tune.
Yeah. Yep. I think we've added a lot of really good aspects to it.
Yeah. I think our game should be like $100.
Yeah. You do get the chance to break into some of your peers' dorm rooms and get Doritos and other snacks.
Okay.
There's no laptops or money in there for you to take and pawn, but you can get Doritos.
Yeah, if you're at a really crappy school, you have community showers.
Yeah. If you don't wear shower shoes, you get some fun guy that keeps you out for a game.
Yeah. And if you have to continue to like hit X or you drop your soap.
Oh God. Are they in prison?
I mean, JUCO basically is prison, I would assume.
The way JB ran it, yeah, for sure. And then the latest development at Arkansas, you can forego at a high school, you can forego signing with a college and instead play minor league baseball for 8 years.
Yeah.
And then randomly get a call.
Yeah.
To come play football. Yeah.
You think he just did it to get a free copy of the game? He's like, I'm in the game too, guys.
He's gonna play every sport just to get the free copy.
Yeah.
He I think too make another game mode where I can sign for baseball and college, but when spring practice rolls around, I never actually show up. Or I never show up to baseball.
Yeah.
I think you do that. Oh, they've never done a spring practice in Dynasty mode. Make a spring practice, and you get to make up every worthless drill that the fans get to watch.
Okay. Yeah. A lot of routes on air.
We're doing something called the Circle of Life. Still, no one knows what it is. I get to yell into a mic for 60 minutes so people hear my voice.
We have all the players write out offer letters to potential recruits, and they may or may not spell their name wrong.
Wait, you're saying a player did that?
I'm just.
Oh, okay. You're just hoping that would be the scenario.
Yeah. Because I know there's one person on Tennessee's campus that would never misspell Christian, and that's Rick Barnes. So I know you never have to worry about that for basketball. Yeah, good thing Tony Vitello can spell Christian too.
Well, he gets it easy. SEMO. That's an easy one.
Okay, yeah. Just gave me.
I do think you should allow tampering in this game. Like I should see a team starting to fall apart, and I should get to call their star running back in the middle of the season.
I think Tyler Barron's going to get this game, and he's only going to be in the transfer portal. Like that's the only thing he's going to play in the game.
He's permanently in the transfer portal.
Yeah.
It will not let you sign Tyler Barron. He can come to campus, but he'll never make it to the full season.
I love that now Michigan got Wesley Walker. I'm wondering like how their fans think that, because this is his third school he's committed to since he left Tennessee. Is this like, are they excited about it, or are they just like, I mean, is this the last one, or is there another one? Like I love just the buildup of his commitment to actually mean something.
Yeah. Do we have any questions this episode?
We did not.
Okay, that makes it easy. That's good because
I
I think we're running long here, so we can knock out some most important.
Yeah, what's I had the James Worthington.
Okay.
Don't have the first pitch yesterday.
Love that. I'm gonna do one I've got a few here, but first one, and we've got a comment from one of my brothers, so he's in here, hopefully still listening. Gonna shout out my brothers. Two of them coach at Southwell High School soccer. Two of my nephews play for the team, and Southwell soccer gets a shout out here too. Headed back to state, first time since 2018. They qualified for TWSAA Spring Fling, so they'll play Tuesday. Will be their first game in that. Hopefully we're hoping they're there until Friday. So shout out to them. Another personal note, and I need to tweet this out. I put it on Facebook. If you guys know anything about state high school teams going to state tournaments, if you're there all week. It's quite the operation. It gets expensive. So if you can, if you feel like you can, feel like you want to, feel donate to Southwell soccer and help pay for that trip. All the money that's donated would go to buses, food, hotel, stuff that provides needs for the players, but also hopefully they also get to experience it like very incredibly positively, and it's not just like a burden on the program, the players, the parents, all that, because it is quite the undertaking to turn. They qualified on Saturday, turn around, they're leaving tomorrow. It's a thing to do, so it does get a little hectic and it gets expensive. And so yeah, if you feel like you can, I'll tweet that link out if you can give to Southwell Soccer. But shout out to them for qualifying for state. Very exciting. I won't be able to go down, and if I'm able to be there, it won't be till Friday. So hopefully they make it till Friday, so I can get down and watch them play for a state title.
Yeah, go Keys,
baby.
My most important is Cassie Norris from Halls High School.
Okay,
she is a softball player at SC Upstate, and they played Alabama in the regional, and she got to pick out her walkout song. And guess what she played to play in Alabama? Oh. It was Rocky Top. So they had to play Rocky Top at Alabama in their stadium. So just love that. That the rivalry just runs deep like that. And what a shot.
That's phenomenal. That's one of the better trolling jobs I've ever seen, truthfully.
Yeah. Yeah, what a thought. Big brain move right there. So also one more is there was the Special Olympics in Nashville, the state games in Nashville this weekend. So everybody got to meet Will Levis. He took the time to kind of meet all the athletes and take pictures and sign autographs and stuff. And my Uncle Steven got to go, and he won gold in bocce and got a
boy can bocce.
He can bocce, yeah, for sure. So super excited for him, and he hasn't done a lot of that before, so this is kind of his first time doing it, and he's absolutely loved it. So love that for him, and I'm sure it sounded like the whole trip was phenomenal and fun, and I just love that.
Yeah, no, it's a ton of fun. I mean, listen, we won't give Will Levis a ton of credit, but shout out to him for being involved in that too. And shout out to Uncle Steven. My Uncle Steven.
Yeah. He's
not my Uncle Steven, but my Uncle Steven.
Yeah. Everybody's Uncle Steven.
I just got this leads into my fail.
Okay.
But I said it last night to you. Friday, man. Friday was the most fun day on the internet I can remember. Everything with the Scotty Scheffler stuff was just impeccable magic. For things to come together how they did, I'm glad that it seems like everything's going to be finished with that come Monday as it should. But fail on that police officer for whatever. I don't even know. Like, who knows what happened? Sounds like he was being a tool bag. He had, he didn't get his grade A grounds that morning, and it leads to arresting the number one golfer in the world. Whatever happened, but yeah, the memes that came from Scotty Scheffler, the shirts that got printed in 24 hours that people were wearing at the turn and at Valhalla, just phenomenal. I mean, just a phenomenal day to be on the internet. The Masters winner, the number one golfer, was sitting in a jail cell an hour and a half before he teed off, and you can't write a story. You can't write a storyline that good. Even Tiger Woods never was in jail an hour and a half before tee time.
Mm-hmm.
Another great meme that came out of it was Rory's getting divorced and Scotty's in jail, and it was the scene of Billy Bean saying, "You guys are trying to recreate." I don't remember which player he used in that scenario of the two that they lost in that season. He's like, "We can't recreate him, but we can."
Giambi and
Yeah,
somebody else.
Yeah, I think it might have been Giambi. He's like, "We can't recreate Giambi, but we can make up for it in the aggregate." It's like, I mean, there were just so many good tweets, it was just a fun day to be on the internet, and it was wild mayhem. And then you had the people acting like this is the end of the world. I think it was like Dan Rappaport, like, I mean, can't the mayor of Louisville do something? Can't he call him? Like, this is nuts. Like, acting like Scotty's life was over. The moment the full details started coming out, you're like, yeah, that's not gonna stick.
Yeah.
And sure enough, he's out without bond on a felony charge within an hour and a half.
Yeah. And then shot like 4 under?
Yeah, I mean, it's stupid. It's stupid. He's stretching in a jail cell. I mean, just mayhem.
Yeah. Yeah, I loved all the shirts and the fact that he was like stretching in his jail cell before. Also, like, I really don't understand like why he was arrested, really, but whatever. I mean, I don't know why you jump on a car to try to stop it, but
well, and I don't even know what attach yourself to the vehicle even means. And it feels like an interesting thing to put in a report, but hey, rip to those pants, man. They were good pants. That officer did a lot of good in those pants.
Right. I mean, you could have got a signature from Scotty Scheffler and it would have been worth whatever you could have went on. It would have saved you a lot of paperwork, probably, a lot of social embarrassment, and also you could have got a new pair of pants.
What a day. That's all I've got for fails and most important. I don't think I have another fail.
I have one fail, and it's the Dayton Flyers. A guy hit a home run and flipped his bat, and then took a tumble going down first base. Like,
oh no,
did like a trot and just fell like straight on his face.
Oh.
So yeah, I mean, I guess the home run still stands, but I think if you fall during your celebration, you should be out. Automatic out.
Oh, yeah, that's a tough one. You can't flip the bat and then tumble like that.
No, just like, I mean, if Blake Bird does suck it and then falls, like, it just takes the fun out of it.
Yeah.
All right,
guys. Unless
he
does like a Wonka where he tumbles and it looks cool. But yeah, I agree. 99% of the time,
you got to keep rolling all the way to first base. Then
there's not a lot of Willy Wonkas out there. So
yeah, guys, go check out Rhoback, RHOBACK.com, and Use promo code More Important Issues for 20% off your first purchase. They have the best clothing. They got hoodies, joggers, pants, polos, shirts, whatever you want, they got it. Guys, go check them out at rowback.com. Use promo code More Important Issues for 20% off your first purchase. Guys, thank y'all for listening. We'll be back. Hoover starts this week. So we'll be back on Thursday night. It should be after Tennessee will play their second game at some time on Thursday, depending on if they win or lose on Wednesday. And we'll be here for that. Also, Chaz Lanier will visit Tennessee on Tuesday, the last visit there. So we'll see kind of what happens there. So just follow along. Keep following us on social media. Also, go check out our YouTube. Subscribe if you don't care. That interview with Hunter Inslee that we had on last, I guess, Wednesday. That's on there as well. So go check that out. We appreciate everything. We're bringing the boat in, and we out.